Well, I've got a little bit of a dilemma here. When I sent the engine to be rebuilt, the engine rebuilder had a heck of a time getting the old pulley out. It was a dual belt pulley. And so unfortunately it broke when he took it out, and I had to order a new one and get into that more in a minute. But anyway, engine's all together, actually in the Jeep now, and I'm about ready to go put my new pulley on. And after I realized I bought the wrong size, returned that one, then ordered another one off of eBay, which looked to be exactly like the one that I took off. Turns out it wasn't, and I'll show you that in a moment. So then I ordered a third pulley, and this one is now just a single belt, which is all I need for my application anyways. And tried getting it on, tried putting the Woodruff key, which you'll see here, in place. Problem I had was this key would not stay in place. Basically it was wiggling around. It would just, as soon as I tried to put it in, it would fall right out. So I wish I had known that before the engine was reassembled. Obviously would have had that addressed, but now that we're all together, engine's in the Jeep, what am I gonna do? So looked on the forums quite a bit, found some folks with some good suggestions. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I did to get this key to stick there, and also talk a little bit more about the pulleys, because I just haven't found a really good in-depth video about this, so I figured I'd make one. Stay tuned. Okay, so I set up a little makeshift table here on the battery tray. So you see a few things here in sight. First off, let's take a look at the old pulley. So when I say the old pulley was damaged on the way out, it separated. It was really on there good. So obviously can't use this whole pulley. It's the dual belt pulley. It was a little warped anyways. So this pulley is no good. I then proceeded, I bought one, which was totally the wrong thing, and I returned it. And then I ordered this pulley here off of eBay, and I didn't read the description, so that's actually my fault. But there's a problem with this pulley, and I didn't notice it until I actually already had it on the crank, and I had to get a puller, and I had to pull it off. I really had to tap this one in pretty hard, which from what I see in other videos, you really shouldn't have to do that. It should glide on fairly seamlessly from what I've seen in other videos and what I've read online. So this one I really had to wail at it to get it in, which really was a red flag that I should have stopped, but of course I didn't. So I got a puller, was able to pull this off, and really started studying on it a little bit. And what I realized was this pulley is actually smaller. It's hard to see here in the video, but it's actually smaller than the pulley that came off. And if we look at the dimensions, so the side facing the engine, you can see it's different. This is raised, this is kind of concaved. If we actually go back over here to the timing cover, you're gonna notice on my timing cover, not every timing cover has this, but there's these sort of dust shield, or whatever you wanna call this. If you have a timing cover that has this on it, this pulley that I just showed you won't work. So that was in the description, I just didn't read it. So that was my fault. So anyway, that then drove me to buy this pulley here from Willys. And it's a single belt pulley, but it was, should have been good enough to do what I needed it to do. However, sliding this pulley on, same kind of issue as sliding this one on, really was going on hard. So I did the right thing and went to a machine shop and had it sized up. And no, I'm just kidding. I used a Dremel. So basically, what I did was I very carefully went through and with some sandpaper on the end of the Dremel, and just enough to just kind of shave very little material. I mean, it was just too tight for my liking based on what I was seeing. I really was going to have to tap it to get it in there, so I needed to shave some off. I did that. It slides in and out really nice now. Maybe I made a big mistake, and maybe this is going to cause some other damage. It very well might, but it's a risk I'm willing to take at this point. I'm not suggesting you do it. Don't do it. But it's a risk I'm willing to take just at the stage I'm at with the project. I really want to get this engine fired up. And who knows, I may not even leave this on there long term. I may try to find an original double belt pulley, because I'm really trying to get this Jeep the closest to original as I can. So that's why I didn't want to put this pulley on in the first place. But anyway, so I went ahead, shaved it. Now it slides in and out good. Where the Woodruff key went, I actually made sure that, I have another Woodruff key here to show you, that it would slide in and out, and it was nice and tight, that wasn't compromised. It's hard for me to do one-handed, but this is in there nice and tight. There's no wiggling or anything like that. So that's in good shape. I used just a file just to quickly, once I went through with the Dremel, I just used a file just on each side, just to make sure that this was nice and taut, each of these, each of the sides of this slot here. Just to show you too, this was the original nut that was holding on the front, and I'm going with one of these, which is, you know, designed for you to hand crank it. So the next issue I talked about was the Woodruff key. So it was slopping around in there. Literally, I just put it in the crank and it would fall out. So again, reading on the internet, found this Permatex sleeve retainer, high temp, and basically just a little green fluid. I put this on the Woodruff key, put a little bit on the shaft, and let it set up. I think the instructions say about 24 hours for full cure. So I figured I'd wait 24 hours. And now I'm gonna go ahead and try to slide this on, and let's see what happens. Now, just to bring you back in here on the Woodruff key, you can see the Woodruff key is in place, and if I put my fingers on it, it's firmly seated there. So hopefully this will slide right on and we should be good to go. All right, let's give it a shot. Line it up. Okay, it's lined up. And look at that. Slid right into place. Feels good and solid. Let's see if this nut should thread right on. Perfect. And that's in there, nice and solid. Feels really good. I think we got it. Thanks for watching.